Greetings to you all. Welcome to Grade 8 Tutorials. And today we are going to look at information system in global business today. And so have it in mind that everything about management information system is organization, technology, and what? Management, right? And so here, information system in global business today is what we are actually going to look at, and we will be talking about organizations, management, and information system, because that is the basics or the foundation of this whole course. I hope you get that. And so let's first of all look at some of the learning objectives. And so we are going to look at how are information systems transforming business and why are they so essential for running and managing a business today. That will be the first thing we will look at. Then we also look at what an information system is and how it works. What are its management, organization, and technology components? Why are complementary assets essential for ensuring that information systems provide genuine value for organizations? And the last one will be, what academic disciplines are used to study information systems and how does each contribute to an understanding of information systems? Okay, so let's begin. Now here, first we are talking about what? Information technology capital investment. And so, in this century, everyone is, or every organization is trying to invest in what? Information technology. Do you get it? Because at first, the way of watching movies, the way of listening to music has drastically changed. I hope you get that. Because when you see, or when you view from this point, you see that at first we buy compact disc or other form of magnetic devices before we watch movies or listen to what? Music. But now, what has changed? There is a change now. Now you can download what? Netflix or iTunes or Boomplay. Then you listen to the music online. That is the use of what? Information technology, right? And you can also watch movies on what? Netflix, instead of buying compact disc or any form of magnetic devices. And so in this modern world, every firm, or it is the responsibility for every firm to invest in what? Information technology. That is it. And so let's move on to our next slide. It says how information systems are transforming what? Business. And this one we have what? Emerging mobile digital platform. And so when we say emerging mobile digital platform, what does it mean? Here we are saying it is information system that help us what? Trade online. I hope you get that. It is part of information system that help businesses to what? Trade online. That is the whole thing about what? Emerging digital platform, because your key corporate assets and everything, your intellectual properties or the core competencies. You can also talk about your financial assets or everything. They are all managed through what? Digital means. And so when we say a digital firm, so a digital firm is one in which nearly all of the organization's significant business relationship with customers. And so the relationship with the customers, suppliers, employees are what? Digitally what? Made, or digitally what? Done. That is what we are talking about when we say emerging mobile digital platform. And the next one is growing business use of big data. And it is information systems that helps business to what? Mobilize or organize huge or mass data. And so it is information system that process all these data into information. So growing business use of big data, we are talking about how firms are able to mobilize or bring about a maximum or mass data. Do you get it? And then process the data into what? Information. And the next one is growth in cloud computing. And when it comes to growth in cloud computing, that is when a firm tried to be, or the firm also tried to be or regulate in software based. I hope you get that. And so when you talk about storage, instead of having machines, which let's say a firm would like to have machines, 3 machines, one, let's say window for the Gmail websites, that is for Unix, and the firm would also like to use Linux software for also other designs I hope you get that. So instead of having all these machines at your disposal, it is information system that has made it possible for what? Cloud computing. You can have all these things what? Online. Do you get it? Or software based. And so let's also look at the globalization opportunities. The globalization opportunities. And so when we say globalization opportunities, right now we can all trade what? Online. And so globalization opportunity is when, let's say, a firm is actively working 24/7. That is every day. And so customers can now shop in a worldwide market, obtaining price and quality information reliably 24/7. And so when we say 24/7, we mean what? Every day. And so you see that firms producing goods and services on a global scale, that is on a large scale, those who are distributing worldwide, they achieve some cost. Because your cost of transportation, if you want to import, and the personnel, warehousing and everything, you see, you need to incur all these costs. But with information system, there is what? Increase in globalization what? Opportunities. And it means you can just be at wherever that you are, and with the help of digital platforms, you can successfully do your what? Trading. And also, we are saying digital firms offer greater flexibility in organizations and management. So the flexibility here, the focus is on what? Time shifting and what? Space shifting. And so when we say time shifting, what does it mean by time shifting? And so time shifting is when, let's say, it refers to a business being conducted continuously, right? That is every day, non-stop. So that is time shifting. Other than let's say 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Do you get it? And the space shifting is talking about your whereabouts. So with the information system, firms or organizations can also trade wherever they are. So the space shifting refers to your whereabouts, your location. You can trade wherever that you are, or you can use any digital platform wherever that you are. Then when it comes to time shifting, it is we refer to time shifting as you being able to, or whereby the organization able to work continuously for 24 hours. And also, let's move on. We are saying growing interdependence between, here we have ability to use information technology and ability to implement corporate strategies and achieve corporate goals. So you see, the 2 points here are interdependent. And so every organization, before you achieve these corporate goals, you first have to implement corporate strategies. I hope you get that. You first have to implement corporate strategy. And before you implement corporate strategy, you also have to have the ability to use information technology. I hope you get that. So if you have information technology, you can use the information technology to implement your corporate strategy, and you achieve those corporate strategies. And so we will look at a whole thing about information technology. We will also look at how to implement corporate strategies, and we will also look at how to achieve corporate strategies. So let's move on to the next one. So here, firms invest heavily in information systems to achieve 6 strategic business objectives. And so let's look at the reasons why firms invest in information systems. And we are saying we have 6 strategies or 6 strategic business objectives. And the first one is operational excellence. The next one is new product, services and business model. And we also have customer and supplier intimacy. We have improved decision making, competitive advantage, and finally we have survival, right? And so here we are going to look at them one by one. I hope you get it. And so the operational excellence. Operational excellence, you can say it is improvement of efficiency to attain high profitability, because it is the duty of every organization to maximize profits. And how do you maximize profits? You can maximize profits by installing or trying to implement corporate strategies. Do you get it? And so we also see information systems technology an important tool in achieving greater efficiency and productivity. And so business continuously seek to improve the efficiency of their operations in order to achieve higher profitability. Information systems and technologies are some of the most important tools available to managers for achieving higher levels of efficiency and productivity in business operations, especially when there is changes in business practices and management behavior. And so with operational excellence, here we mean efficiency. Whenever you hear operational excellence, the two things that must first come into mind is efficiency and profitability. How you want to work effectively and how you want to maximize profit. And so looking at the example, you can talk about Walmart. And we know Walmart is the largest retailer on earth. It uses power of information systems with brilliant business practices and also supportive management. When it comes to their management, how they regulate, how their business processes, or how to regulate their business processes, they are one of the best. No, they are actually the best, not even one of the best, because they are the largest retailer on earth. Okay, let's also move on to the next one. We have new products, services, and business models. And so with new products and business models, we are saying information systems and technologies are a major enabling tool for a firm to create new products and services, as well as entirely new business models, right? And so when we talk about business model, what does it mean? It describes how company produces, delivers, and sells product or service to create worth. And so how you are going to manufacture, how you are going to provide services, and in order to maximize profits, right? That is what we term as the new product, services, and business model. For example, when you see today's music industry is different from the previous music industry, because at first you need to buy other devices. You need to buy devices before you can even listen to music. But right now, what do you see? We have iTunes, we have Boomplay, we have AudioMac, we have so many streaming platforms, of which you can just take your device, you go there and you start listening to your music. Same thing applies to Netflix. I hope you get that. And so that is what we are actually talking about. Google's Android operating software is also there. And so for Google, right now, we all know when it comes to one of the best search engines, you cannot take Google out, right? But at first, what do you see? And so the new product, services, and business model we are talking about, information system will help you bring about new product and also help you in services like sometimes a bank, and instead of making people form a queue in order to be saved, you can implement ATM or bring about any relevant things or services that will help the business to grow. That is what we are actually talking about here. And let's also look at the customer and supplier intimacy. And so when a business really knows its customers, and when the business serves the customers well, it's probably the customers will go and they will return, right? And so the more customers you get, or when they go and they come back, you maximize profits, because the more they buy, the more you maximize your profits. And so the same thing applies to when you have let's say genuine relationship with your supplier. It makes the supplier provide you vital input. And so the vital input with quality, and also when it comes to quantity, it is also part. And so all this lowers cost, and it helps you maximize profit, because when there is cost, when your supplier is supplying you vital products or services at a lower cost, it means you can take advantage over that to maximize profit. And so customer and supplier intimacy is also part of one of the key strategies to also achieve corporate goals. Okay, now the next one is improved decision making. So for the improved decision making, here we are saying managers must use forecast, best guesses, luck, which results in overproduction or underproduction, sometimes misallocation of resources, or poor response times. And so this one, normally people who are at the marketplace, sometimes because they don't have access to information systems or information technologies, they go to the market predicting the number of quantities to sell in a particular day, of which sometimes it results in underproduction, and it also results in overproduction. sometimes due to that, it can also lead to what misallocation of resources. And so that is what we mean by improved decision making, because with the help of information systems, you will be able to what get real-time what data. You will be able to get real-time data from the marketplace when making what decisions. And this is what we mean by improved what decision making. And the next one is competitive advantage. So when firms achieve one or more of the strategies that we have already talked about, that is operational excellence, new product, services, and business models. You can also talk about customer and supplier intimacy and improved decision making. So if the firm or the organization is able to at least execute any of the strategies very well, it is likely that the firm or the organization will just be ahead of his or of its competitors, right? And so you see, when we talk about competitive advantage, one thing that you have to understand that we are talking about better performance against what your competitors, charging less for superior products. So whilst your competitors are charging more for superior product, you try to reduce your product by a little amount or a little price, so that you get what more customers, right? And the more customers you get, the more your profit becomes. Okay. And so doing things better than your competitors, charging less for superior goods, and also responding to customers and supplies in real time, they all add up higher sales and higher profits, like I said, that your competition cannot what match. No one can just compete with you in the system. Example is what Apple and what Walmart, right? So Walmart and Apple is the perfect example. I hope you get that. And so survival, it is the dream of every organization or every firm to what survive, right? Because you will not establish a business and think about what collapsing, but you rather think about what surviving. And how do you survive? You can only survive when you try to take advantage over your competitors, right? And so if you try to take advantage over your competitors, that is why you get what loyal customers, good suppliers to supply you with vital information or products or services. That alone will help you what survive. And so we say business firms also invest in information systems and technologies because they are what necessities of doing business. Sometimes those necessities are driven by industry level what changes. I hope you get that. And so Citibank first introduced what ATM. And so assuming a bank, and we have a numerous banks, and you are the first bank to introduce ATM. So it means whilst other people are what queuing in a particular bank, for your bank, people will just come with their credit card or their MasterCard. They will come with their any form Visa card or any form of card for payment. They will just come and stand by the ATM and withdraw and leave within 5 minutes instead of joining a long queue. Do you get it? Do you get that? So that one alone will at least attract customers who are loyal to other banks to your bank. Do you get it? So survival means you always have to stay ahead. It's like competing with your competitors, but whenever you take the competitive advantage, the likelihood of surviving is what very high. That is what we mean here. Then let's look at the whole thing about what information system. So we are going to look at information system, and here we are saying information system can be defined as a set of interrelated components that collects. The first one is what collects, and the second one is what process. Third one is store and what distributes information to support decision making and control in organization. So the first one is to collect, process, store, and distribute what information in order to support what decision making, coordination, and control in that particular organization. I hope you get that. And so information systems contain information about significant people, places, things within the organization or in the environment surrounding it. So by information system, we mean data that have been shaped into a form that is meaningful and useful to human beings. And so it is information system that will help you what capture a raw data, and the information system will process those raw data into what an information for your use or what you want to use that information for, right? And so let's look at information versus data. We all know data is a raw fact, and information is a processed data, which is meaningful to the user. Okay. And so this is a typical example of, let's say, a sale by a supermarket. And so this is the data, right? This is the data. This person bought a soap. This person bought coffee. This person bought a cat, soap. They are here. And so they are all data. But with the help of information system, the information system will then process this data into a meaningful information, right? And it is giving the total sales and everything, where the location is and the number of units sold, right? The description is also here, the item number in the shop. And so it is information system that process data into information. I hope you get that. And so let's move on to our next slide. We are saying 3 activities information systems produce information organizations need. And so the 3 things, the first one is input. And we know input captures raw data from organization or external environment. So input is about retrieving or capturing data from the customers, or let's say stakeholders or suppliers, that is from the organization's environment. And processing is when you convert the raw data into meaningful information. So the process, you are processing it, and that is with the help of information systems. And the next one is output, that is transfers processed information to people. So output is basically the end product of the data processing. I hope you get that. And so that is it. We move to the next one. We are saying functions of information system. That is what we have already looked at. And so information system capture inputs, which is here, and this is the information system. So the information system will do processing, classify, arrange, or calculate. I hope you get that, to give you output. And so when you get the output, there is feedback, right? It means you have gotten the feedback that you wanted, right? So you can use that feedback for your decision making. And so that is what we mean by functions of an information system. And so functions of an information system is just to capture, that is the input state, process, classify, arrange, or calculate, that is the processing stage. Then you get the output, and then finally you can talk about feedback. Okay. And so we move to the next slide. That is feedback. Output is returned to appropriate members. And so what you are really waiting for, right? You first capture the data and you sent it to the information system, and it's processed and gave you output. And so the output then becomes the feedback that you want. I hope you get that. And so let's look at computer program versus information system. Computer programs and software are technical foundation and tools similar to material and tools used to build a house. And it is basically true. It means they are interdependent. And so whenever you want to build a house, you need to first get let's say the appropriate tools, right? That is hammer, nails, wood, roof, and other things. But that materials alone cannot make itself a house unless you get an architecture, right? So that architecture will design the landscape or the geography of the land, that where you are building the house is good, or it is a waterlogged area, right? And so the architecture needs the materials, and the materials also needs the architecture to mold them, right? And so computer program and information system are interdependent. Information system needs computer programs, right, before they can function effectively, and information system also needs computer programs before it can also function effectively. All right, so now let's look at the information systems. We are saying information systems are more than computers, right? And don't forget, when we started, I told you with this course we are going to look at 3 things. The whole course, management information system, talk about organization, technology, and management. And so that is what we are going to look at today, right? And so information systems are more than computers, and it is very true. And so let's first dive into it. We have organizations, so let's first look at organizations. So the organizational dimension. So we say organizations Organizational dimension of information system. You have the hierarchy of authority or the responsibility. Organizations have a structure that is composed of different levels and specialists. And so their structure reveal a clear division of what labor, authority, and responsibility, as you see. And so here we have what senior management, and senior management makes what long range strategic discussions or decisions about product and services, as well as ensures financial performance of the firm. And when you come to the middle management, they carries out the programs and plans of the senior management and also operational management. So they serve as what middle personnel or middle body. And so the operational management is responsible for monitoring the daily activities of the business. So the day-to-day activities of the business is what operated or managed by what the operational management body. Also, let's look at the knowledge workers. So the knowledge workers are those that we can say they are engineers, scientists, or architects, right? And so they create knowledge for the firm, whereas the data workers also serve as what secretaries and also assist with the scheduling and communication in the firm, right? And so the data workers, have it in mind that the data workers talks about what secretaries and those that help what with the schedules and everything, and the knowledge workers also talk about what the engineers and scientists, or you can talk about architects, design, those who design products, you get it, and services to create knowledge for the firm. So sometimes you see the organization, you have to do something extraordinary, and you have to create a unique product, and so it is the duty of the knowledge workers to help you create a new product with a branded design. Do you get it? So the architects, architects is also part of the knowledge workers, and so they will help you with the design and everything. And the data workers will help the scheduling of decision and communication and the flow of information in the organization. And the production or service workers, we know that is the they do the product and services delivery, right? And so that is organization, right? And so there's the pyramid. For the operational management who manage the day-to-day, we have production and service workers, those who produce and deliver, render services. And we have data workers, those who serve as secretaries, right? Who help in scheduling, decision-making meetings and the communications in the organization. And middle management, here we have scientists and knowledge workers. And so scientists and knowledge workers, here we are saying we have engineers, scientists, and architects who design or who help in the design of product and everything in the company, and they also serve as a middle body between the senior management and the operational. So they take information from the operational, that is day-to-day information, to the senior management, and they also take feedback from the senior management to the operational management. Okay, so move to the next slide. What is an information system? And so we are still under information system, but we are looking at organization dimension of information system. And so when it comes to sales and marketing, human resources, finance and accounting, manufacturing and production. So with sales and marketing, you can talk about the selling the organization's product and services. Manufacturing and production too, you can say producing and delivering products and services. And finance and accounting, that is managing the organization's financial assets and maintaining the organization's financial records. And so finance is managing the organization's financial assets, and the accounting are also maintaining the organizational financial records, right? And human resource, they also attract, develop, maintain, provide the organization labor force, because they recruit people for the organization, right? And every business has a unique way of operation, right? And so unique business culture, it talks about how the business operates, how, let's say, MTN Ghana and Vodafone Ghana operate are different. And you can talk about organizational politics, that is the power that flows from or that flows in the organization. You can talk about the organogram here, right? Yeah. And so we move on to the next one, that is organizational dimension of information systems, right? And so we are done with this one. Let's look at the next one. And so we have management dimension. And so we are looking at 3 dimensions: organization, management, and what? Technology. And so we are done with the organization. The next one is what? The management dimension, right? And so the management dimension, what does it also say? Here, management's job is to make sense out of what? The many situations faced by the organization. They are supposed to make decisions and also formulate action plans to solve organizational problems. And so managers perceive what? Business challenges in the environment they set the organizational strategy for, responding to those challenges. And so it is the management, the HR, right, the human resource, to look at the human and the financial resources to coordinate the work and achieve what? Success. So we are saying managers set organizational strategy for responding to business what's challenge. So they identify what's the business challenge and they set organizational strategy to help deal with the business challenge identified, right? Yes. And we move to the next one, that is the technology aspects, of which is the last part when it comes to the dimension of information system. And so the information technology also talks about what? Computer hardware and software, data management technology, networking, and telecommunication technology. When we talk about hardware, computer hardware, what do we mean? That is the physical equipment used for what? Input, processing, and output activities in an information system. It consists of the following computers of various sizes and shapes, including what? Mobile devices or any other input or computer put together, right? So all the physical equipment used for input, processing, and output, they are called what? Computer hardware. Then when it comes to computer software, that is the, let's say, the programmed or the instructions. That is, computer software actually instructs the computer hardware what to do. And so when it comes to the data management technology, that consists of the software governing what? The organization of data on physical storage media. And so how to manage your data. So we have something we call database management. And so database management is about having a software to govern the organization what? Data and physical storage media. And networking and technology, telecommunications technology. It consists of both the physical devices and the software, right? And so they are not physical location, right? But they are in a form of what? Network. And so they use what? Internet. And you know, internet is what? The largest network in the world. Internet is the largest network, or the global network. Yeah, you can say internet is the global network. And when it comes to intranet is when the members within a particular organization, it is an internet protocol or a network protocol of which the information or the data within the organization can only be accessed by what? The members within the organization. And extranet is when the information within the organization or the data within the organization is also being able to access by those to those that are to the external, those that are the external environment of the organization, right? And so that is the extranet. And so World Wide Web is what also can classified as what? An internet, right? And so internet IT infrastructure provides platform that system is built on. So when we get to chapter 3, we will look at IT infrastructure. So let's move on. We have business perspective on information systems, right? And so when it comes to the business perspectives, here we are going to look at the kind of perspective that governs information system. When a firm tries to invest in information system, what is the notion or what is the perspective? And so the perspective governing information system, the investment of information system, is that when you invest in information system, you are going to what? Create value. And when you create value, it is likely or it is definite what? That you are going to what? Increase productivity, you make sales to increase revenue, and also you make superior long-term strategic what? Positioning. It help you what to compete against your competitors, right? And so have it in mind that investing in information system, there's one perspective from one view, right? So we are going to look at two perspectives, this one and complementary assets. And so with this one here, the view is that if you invest in information system, you are going to what maximize what a profit or create what. That is the view when it comes to this perspective. And so we have business information value chain. That is when a raw data acquired and transformed through stages. And so the raw data is transformed through stages that add value to that information. And finally, it gets what the user end. Value of information system determined in part by extent to which it leads to better decisions, greater efficiency and higher what profit. And so let's move on to the next one. And so there is the value chain we are talking about. Here you see you have data collection. There's the data, right? You collect data, you transform, then you disseminate here. And when you get here, the processing will start on the part of what? The computer and also what? Management. How we get it? So the business processes will be here and management what? Activities. And so when management will take part of the data and work upon, and the business as a whole will also take part. That is when it comes to the department of what? The business. They will also take their part of the data and try to what? Decide upon in order to build a successful or a meaningful information. So at the end, they will all arrive at what? Firm profitability and strategic what? Position, right? And so this is what we call information value chain. Okay. Now, another view here is saying investing in information technology does not guarantee good returns, right? And so investing in technology investment alone cannot make organization and managers more effective. Do you get it? Unless they are accompanied by supportive values, strategies or structures, behavior patterns in the organization. Do you get it? And so that is what this perspective is also looking at. And so this one is also saying you investing in information technology does not guarantee good returns, right? And so it's built up to the point that when we are investing, we invest in complementary what? Assets. That is, we invest based on organizational and management what? Capital. In as much as you are investing in management capital, you also try to invest in what? Organizational capital as well. That is on the view from what? Complementary assets. And why are they saying this? The reason why they are saying complementary assets, you investing in information technology does not necessarily yield a profit or maximize what is that. You see, in this modern world, let's say a firm go into, let's say, sell compact disc or any form of magnetic devices to for people to buy in order to what? Watch movies or listen to music, right? And so that firm can either invest really well in that industry. I hope you get that. But you ask yourself, are the people ready to buy those compact devices? Whilst we have Boomplay, we have AudioMark, we have iTunes, right? And so you can invest heavily in information what? Technology, but it does not guarantee what? A yield interest. I hope you get that. And so in as much as we are saying this, we mean complementary assets. They are assets required to derive what? Value from the initial investment or the primary what? Investment. I hope you get that. And so for an instance, let's also look at this. Recording labels companies like Boomplay, AudioMark, and let's also talk about Netflix as well. You see, they came in to replace what? All those old models, right? The way of using television and these things to watch movies. Netflix came to replace that, and Boomplay and AudioMark also came to replace that, so that it will be portable. Anywhere that you go with your device, you can listen to what? Music. You get that? And so let's look at complementary assets. And here we are saying invest in technology and the people to make it work properly. Because when you invest in the technology, investing in the technology alone does not make it what successful. When you have people who have bad attitude to work, do you get that? So you can really invest in technology. You can build a company and buy a lot of cars or machines in that particular company. But if you don't have experienced people, or if you don't have people with good attitude to work with those machines, there is no way you are going to maximize or create wealth. But with the view of complementary assets, we are saying if you invest in the technology, you get experienced people to work with those machines. That is the time you are going to what maximize or create wealth. And so complementary assets include, we have organizational assets, and we have what managerial assets, we have social assets. And so the organizational assets, for example, appropriate business model, coming with appropriate business what model, efficient business what processes. I think we have talked about this. Then when it comes to managerial assets, here we talk about incentive for what management, innovation, teamwork, and collaborative work what environment. And so if you have managerial assets as part of the complementary asset, the people in the organization are going to work together, right, in order to work with the information technologies in the firm or the organization to come up with, let's say, a higher profitability, or to maximize what that is what we are talking about now. I hope you get it. Yeah. Then we have what social assets, and social assets here talks about the internet and telecommunication infrastructure, that is technology standard. Okay. So the last term is what contemporary approaches to information systems. As a contemporary approaches, we have what two approaches. We have the technical approach and what behavioral approach. The technical approach here talks about information systems, and it emphasizes on mathematically based models to study information systems, as well as the physical technologies and for capabilities of these systems, right? And so here we have what computer science, which is concerned with establishing what theories of computability, methods of computation, and methods of efficient data storage. That is about what the computer science, right? And when you come to the management science, that is the second one. For management science, you can say there is development of models for decision making and management practices, right? And when you talk about the last one, as in the operation research focuses on mathematical techniques. And so that is for operation, for optimizing selected parameters of organizations, such as transportation, inventory control, and transaction cost. So with a technical approach, this is what we mean. It is mathematically based models, right? And then when you come to the behavioral approach, here we are talking about what psychology, economics, and what sociology. And so psychology deals with what mind, and so it means psychology and the behavioral approach here will talk about what decision making, how you are going to decide and how you are going to think and bring up about what decisions. I hope you get that. And sociologist, here we say sociologist is what sociologist is or sociologists study information systems with eye towards how groups and organizations shape what the development of systems, right? And also how the information systems affect individuals in the organization, and how the lives or the behaviors of the people in the organization also affect what the information system. Do you get it? So with sociology, you are talking about what the individual and the things that he is being surrounded with, the individual and the society, or the individual and the environment. I hope you get that. So the individual and the information system, the effects of the individual on the information system, and the effect of information system on the individual. That is for the sociology when it comes to a behavioral approach. And when we talk about what economics talks about the markets, how we are going to sell and how we are going to deal with let's say the production, creating digital platforms in order to make sales, and how new information systems change control and cost structures within the firm. So that is what economics, right? So you are talking about what market, household. I hope you get it. And with psychology, we say it studies information systems with an interest in how human decisions makers perceive and use information systems, right? And so psychology deals with what? Information. And so let's move on to the next slide. Management information systems. Management information system. And so when we say management information system, what does it mean? It is the study of management information across what let's say across the world, and it deals with what areas that use computer-based information systems in business firms and government agencies, or let's say in many firms as well. So the management information systems combine what computer system management, computer science, management science, operational research, and these three are what the technical approach. And so it means management information combines the technical approach and the practical orientation with behavioral what issues, right? So here you are interested in the technical approach and you add the practical orientation with what the behavioral issues to it in order to arrive at what management information system. It is also concerned with behavioral issues surrounding the development, use, and it also impacts information systems, which are typically discussed in the fields of sociology, economics, and psychology. And so the four main actors, we have what? Suppliers of hardware and software. We have business firms. We have managers and employees. We also have firms' environments. The firm's environment, that is what legal, social, and cultural what context. Okay. And so with the management information system, here we are combining what? Two things. We are combining the technology and what? The organization, right? So we are combining the technology and the organization. And so let's look at socio-technical perspective. The socio-technical perspective really talk about what technology and what the organization, and the management information system talk about what the two approaches, that is the technical approach with the practical orientation of what the behavioral approach. And when you come to the socio-technical perspective, here we are interested in what how organization uses what technology. So when organization starts at the first level, they use what its corresponding what technology, because we say in a socio-technical perspective, the performance of a system is optimized when both the technology and the organization mutually adjust to each other. So there is no way organization can be ahead of what the technology. And so the organization here is using, let's say, a device, or let's say an information system, right? And so it means when the organization expand, it means they also have to also expand what the technology. So they will expand till they get what the final what design of organizations and what technology. So this brings us to the end of our topic for today. That is the how information systems help in global business what today. Once again, my name is Afari Ernest, and this is grade 8 tutorials. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, and if you like the video too, please comment on the video. Thank you very much.